everybody, and welcome to this week's video. This week I am kind of mood reading but also kind of not, because I started 4 books and I want to finish them because I'm in a bit of a weird funk with my life right now. That's drastic but kind of true. But the 4 books I'm in the middle of, I'd very much like to finish within the next 2 weeks. That's the timescale I'm giving myself for this video. One of them is definitely achievable, one of them is an audiobook, so I should finish it, and the other 2 I'm annotating, so questionable. But let's talk about those books. I'm rereading You and Me on Vacation by Emily Henry. My goal in general is to annotate all of Emily Henry's books. She's my favourite author by a long shot. I've had a big think about this because I keep like listing off about 3 or 4 authors every time I say my favourite, but Emily Henry is by far my favourite. Thinking back on what the ratings I've given the books, every single one of her books is a 4-star or above for me, whereas Elsie Silver I've given some 3 stars, and Stephanie Archer, who is the other one that I say is my favourite author, I've definitely given some 3 stars. So those are sort of my next 2, I'd say. Emily Henry is incredible every time. So I'm rereading this, I'm annotating it as I go. I'm actually using a pink pen to do this. I've never annotated it in anything other than black, or I think I switched to blue recently actually, or using a highlighter, but it just wasn't for me, so pink seems to be the vibe. I'm on page 127, so I'm not too far in, but still achievable within 2 weeks, I think. The next book, which I think is the easiest one to finish, is My Love Mix-Up, volume 5. This is a manga series that I've been reading. I read like 4 of them in a row and then randomly stopped. So I thought I'd pick that back up just to get my reading goal up a bit. Early days, you know. This doesn't have page numbers on every page, but I think I'm on page 132-ish. So I'm about here. Obviously manga you read from right to left, so I've only got this much left, which is achievable. I think I've got 1 chapter left, so this is definitely achievable. Then I am audiobooking In Your Dreams Holden Roads by Stephanie Archer. This is the 3rd book in her Queen's Cove series, which is before, or was written before, her Vancouver Storm series, which is incredible. I think I've given every book in that series a 5-star. This one has not hit as hard though. Like the series as a whole, I think I've given a 3 and a 4 stars so far. I think that might be generous. They might have both been 3 stars ish. But I'm audiobooking this one. I just got bored and decided to download an audiobook just to get a little bit of reading done when I'm not doing anything active, you know. So I'm on page 80 exactly of this one, so I'm not too far in, but it's an audiobook, so I can sort of just have it on in the background when I'm doing stuff. So hopefully I can finish this. And then extremely randomly, and definitely past the season to do so, I've decided to reread A Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens, because I watched A Muppets Christmas Carol and remembered that I actually enjoyed reading this in school, so I thought I'd give it a go as an adult. And I accidentally bought the dyslexic friendly version. I'm not dyslexic, but it's given me some space. Like there's obviously a lot of space between the lines, which kind of makes this a really quick read, but it gives me space to annotate because this one I am highlighting properly. I say this all the time when I mention annotating. I don't annotate things in particular, I just highlight shit that I like, you know. So a bit of a random one, but I thought I'd just read this before the Christmas spirit is completely over, you know. So these are the 4 books for today for the next 2 weeks, and this should get my reading goal up to, I think 8 books this would take me to. I like binge read 4 books in a row at the start of the year, and then I sort of fell off a bit, and started 4 books without finishing any of them. So I also technically did start The Game Changer by Lana Ferguson, but I'm really not in the mood to pick that back up, so I'm not going to try and read that one. And I'm also in the early chapters of Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, but I am reading that alongside a podcast I listen to, where they like break down every chapter of Harry Potter, so I thought it'd just be fun to go along with them. So although technically I am in the middle of those books, I'm not using them for this video, because they're not going to get finished. So we're trying to be achievable here. But these are the 4 books. Let's hopefully finish one of them. So I have updates. I finished My Love Mix-Up Volume 5 and I loved it. I am absolutely so obsessed with this series. I know I've got up to Volume 9. I don't know if that's the final volume. I will assume it is. That feels like a good number to be at. But I'm obsessed with this. This is so cute. If you don't read manga but you love romance, this is a good place to start. This is my first one that I read and it's like one of my favorite things. So this is like a solid 4-star for me, though nothing crazy is happening for it to be a 5-star, but I'm just enjoying it. So recommend this to anyone that wants to get into manga. Then my random read is A Christmas Carol. I have finished this. I have annotated it. It's pretty samey to how I felt about it in school. I'd say it's a 3-star. It is a good story. It's an important story, I think, for young people to read, because obviously it has touches on classism. Is that a thing? Classism, you know, poverty, inequality. So, you know, it has all those good things and like gives the forewarning that, you know, money isn't everything. I think that is a good thing to like get people to read. But it's probably still not my favorite thing in the whole world. So I think a solid 3-star for this is like good. Like, it's a good story. I knew what I was getting into. But if I was going to digest this story, I would do it through The Muppets Christmas Carol. That's just my preferred method of taking that in, and that is coming from someone who has only watched that film once, and that was last year for the first time. So this was good, but you know, I was gonna say nothing groundbreaking, but you know, for its time, and the fact it is still a very highly regarded classic, it is a good book. It's just not my favourite thing in the world, so that's that. And then I have also read quite a bit more of You and Me on Vacation. This was a 4-star for me when I read it the first time. I think it's still sitting at a 4. So I'm still enjoying it. Like, it's still an Emily Henry book. We know what we're getting with this. So I'm gonna finish this one up next, because although I have made, I don't know if you can hear me when I reach over there, but although I have made some decent progress in Your Dreams Holden Road as well, this I'm obviously audiobooking, so I have to have a good reason to be audiobooking it. Like, I'm not just gonna listen to that and sit on my bed, you know. I tend to listen to that if I'm like on a bus or like on my lunch break kind of thing. So I do plan to finish this hopefully over the weekend. If I don't get to it, it will definitely be finished on Monday, because I have like an hour-long bus journey into work, so that is plenty of time to get through this. I think I've got like 2 hours left or something. So these are all looking good to be finished within the next few days. But as I said, I'm probably going to keep reading You and Me on Vacation as a top priority right now. It's taking me a smidge longer because I'm annotating it, but worth it. So I'm going to do that, and I'll get back to you when I finish that book. So I have finished 3 of the 4 books that I started. I think that's a good place to stop, because I know I will finish the next one tomorrow on my way to work on the bus, because I have got about an hour left of it on Audible. So I know I'm going to finish it. I'm pretty set on what my rating is going to be anyway. Also, new lipstick. What does everyone think? I feel like it's a bit dark on camera, but it's meant to be like a burgundy, so I'm gonna test it out at work, see how that goes down. But my final thoughts for all of these books have pretty much stayed the same. Like, nothing's really changed. Obviously, I absolutely adore
My Love Mix-Up. This is the most adorable thing ever. I'm enjoying it so much. I don't want it to end, which is why I'm kind of putting off reading the last few, because I think I've got 4 more to go, and they take me about an hour to read. So I gave this a 4-star. I'm still pretty set. Every single book in this series has been a 5-star for me. So 5-star? Wow. A 4-star for me so far. I was gonna say, I think maybe the last one, depending on how it ends, will be a 5-star, but we'll see when I get there. So there's book number 1. Then obviously I read A Christmas Carol. This is like a 3-star, 3.5 if I'm being generous. I do enjoy it, but it's not really my kind of thing. So I think that's fair to say. And then the final book that I actually finished was my reread of You and Me on Vacation. This is staying at a 4.5 for me. On Goodreads it said I gave it a 5-star. I don't remember giving it a 5-star. I've literally never said this was a 5-star. Like, in my head I know it's probably one of my, not my least favourites of Emily Henry's, because obviously I love all of them, but it's not like top 3, and she's only got 5 out that I've read, so take that as you will. I will say though, Alex and Poppy are my favourite couple in any of her books. It's just like the flashbacky stuff gets a bit like, not samey, but not hard for me to read. I don't know how to say what I want to say. It's just not for me. I get a bit bored with flashbacky stuff because it's always right at the moment where I want it to be like the next chapter chronologically, you know. So this is a 4.5 for me. And then finally, I am almost finished with In Your Dreams, Holden Roads. I think this is going to be a 3.5, maybe a 4. I think this is the book I'm enjoying the most out of this series, but it's still not really hitting that 5-star mark for me yet. So it's good though. Like, it follows, I don't think I've said anything about this book actually. It follows Holden, who is very grumpy, and Sadie, who is not. And they basically have a massive amount of miscommunication from their teen years where they think they're talking shit about each other and they're not. And obviously they fancy each other, and so I think it's Sadie's aunt dies, I think, and then she has to move back to town to renovate the inn that she's been left in the will, and it's also been left to Holden. So, but this is good. I'm enjoying it. It is pretty fun. But yeah, it's pretty like standard run-of-the-mill romance, so I think it will stay at a 4-star. But with that, I have finished everything for this video, and I will see you next week. Bye!